Grace be unto you and peace from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ. I was glad when they said to me, let us go into the house of the Lord. And I'm Father Steve Sellers, and this is Dot. And this is, she's going to be 8 months old in just a couple of weeks. And this is our brief daily message of hope. And whoever invented these wonderful Kongs for peanut butter was a genius. So I'm going to let Dot go chew on her Kong with some peanut butter in it. We just had a wonderful Day of the Dead service last night, and a lot of things have been percolating through my mind. I was thinking first of an old medical doctor that I knew in East Texas, who's now with the Lord, and I remember talking to him about an old man, and I asked him, said, Doctor, do you think that he's getting better or worse? And I'll never forget what he said. He said, well, Father, I can't tell you because I don't think he's decided for himself yet whether he wants to get better or worse. And of course, that has a lot to do with our attitude and our mentality. That came to my mind today because after the Mass last night, several people were talking about whether we are, as human beings, inherently good or inherently evil. Now, are we naughty or are we nice, as Santa Claus might put it? Well, philosophers and psychologists and scientists have argued about that since the time of Aristotle, before Christ, where Aristotle basically said we're empty vessels and whatever comes to us and happens to us determines whether we're good by inclination or evil. It's been just, some philosophers like Thomas Hobbes basically said almost the same thing. He said we're brutish by nature and we're given to great kinds of evil. But his colleague in the 17th century, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, basically said no, that we're not. That we have within us the capacity to do great good, to do great good and to be good. Are we good or evil? There was a song that came out. I'm going to answer that in a minute because I think that it's important that we remember what God says about us and not what psychologists and doctors and old long dead philosophers have to say about us. God gets the final word on us. The song came out in 1967 for the musical Hair. It was written by Jerome Ragney and James Rado, called Easy to Be Hard. And the words were, how can people be so heartless? How can people be so cruel? Easy to be hard, easy to be cruel. How can people have no feeling? How can they ignore their friends? Easy to be proud, easy to say no. And the chorus says this, especially people who care about strangers, who care about evil and social injustice. Do you only care about the bleeding crowd? How about a needed friend? We all need a friend. It was a summons to friendship. Beautiful song that I heard Three Dog Night in concert play it several times. First of all, we are created in the image of God. In the very image of God, we were created. We didn't come up with our own image. No scientist designed an image for us. No demigod in an old, long-dead religion dreamed up the image for us. God himself, in his own mind, created us in his image with the capacity to be like him, to be great, to be good, to be kind, to be compassionate. And as we know from the biblical story, the evil one, Satan, got involved from the very beginning, corrupting us and making us and enticing us and tempting us to make bad decisions. against the will of God. And that's where our problems begin. We tend to gravitate toward those temptations. And so we have within us the capacity to be great and holy, but we're broken because the rip in our soul, or the rip within us, the tear within us, is that we are basically sinful by nature because of what we've inherited. But that doesn't end the story either. God sent his son Jesus into the world to show us and to be for us our way of being whole. We can be like the Lord who created us when we follow his son and do what his son has asked us to do and commanded us to do. We are children of the Lord. And so for those who say there's nothing but evil in the world, they're looking in the wrong places. And indeed, that's our real challenge, to focus on what is beautiful, what is lovely. Look for anything that is excellent in the world, as St. Paul said, and think on those things. Don't drift off into the darkness like so many are today. Know that you're a precious child of God. He's with you and he loves you, and it is easy to be hard. But it's also within us to turn and let the Lord guide us and take us into our destiny with him. Not chaotically, not in the darkness, but in the light that he has for us. We follow him. So on this midweek here, as we go into the first week in November, I hope you have a blessed day today, and know that you're a child of God created in his image, and he loves you. God bless you. And Dot and I, if she ever finishes her peanut butter, I hope we don't ever run out of peanut butter. We will see you here tomorrow.